here? I believe we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Zer video. This one's going to be a little extra late. I kept running into hiccups from basically the moment I woke up today. And then I finally was able to sit down and record. And then Discord decided to break, and then OBS decided to break, and then Destiny didn't want to connect to the servers. And yeah, it has been a day so far, but we're here now, so let's go and see what our good old friend Zer has brought for us. So to start us off, we have the Jotun Catalyst. Very good, very strong. It turns Jotun into a PvE powerhouse for ad clear and things like that. Incandescent and oh god, what is the? It's not heating up. I can't ever remember the name. It's cornered, I believe, right? Yeah. So you're able to fire off more shots, and the shots that you do shoot deal explosive solar damage. And doesn't it intrinsically have turnabout now or something stupid like that? Like, Jotun is stupid. I'm surprised I don't see more people using it. After that, we have the Leviathan's Breath Catalyst. I've talked about this again, and it's one of the most obnoxiously good catalysts for any weapon in the game I've ever seen. This is one of those ones where it's like the catalyst makes the weapon good. Like, the weapon itself is okay, but this is one of those times, like, if you're using Leviathan's Breath, do not use it without the catalyst. There's a lot of exotics that are just strong at base, and you know, you'll watch a guide or you'll watch a build video or something like that. It's like, oh, if you don't have the catalyst, don't worry. If you don't have this, it's fine. You know, Leviathan's Breath is one of the few that you do not say that about. If you don't have the catalyst, use something else. So if you have Leviathans, and judging on the recent changes that Bungie is making to the game, whether they go live now or in the Edge of Fate, I'm not 100% sure. I think they go live in the Edge of Fate. I could very easily see Leviathan's Breath being a meta option. For our exotics, we have Raiden Flux with a base stat of 66. You have mobility and resilience as our spikes, was the third in intellect. We've got Kepri's Horn with a base of 68. Got a lot of strength with some recovery and resilience. That's actually a solid roll. I may pick that up if I don't have a better one, but we'll see. We have Phoenix Protocol with a base of 65, which is decent, but you've got 27 mobility, and I think that's just a little too high for most warlocks. And lastly, we do have class items this week. We got Relativism, Solipsism, and Stoicism. Based on whatever class you go to Zer on, that is the one that will show up in his inventory. And to my knowledge, you can buy as many as you want from him. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. But basically, free way to farm class items without having to duel Destiny. For strange offers this week, we have our normal materials, and we have basic legendary engrams. If you're hunting for some world drops, that might be a useful thing to pick up for you. Now for strange gear offers, we do have Hawkmoon. Comes with Snapshot, and Small Bore, and stability and handling speed. This is a decent one. Genuinely, this is a solid option, and if you don't have a better Hawkmoon currently, then I would definitely recommend grabbing that one. Up next, we have Arbalest. This thing is super easy to get. There's like 13 different quests that drop it for you now in the game. But if some crazy reason you don't have it, get it. This is a super strong utility tool that is continuously in the meta, even if it's not in the top of the meta. It's so much utility. It's like Izanagi. It came out years ago, and it still is in day one raids. It's still in day one dungeons. It's still used in that end game meta hardcore content. Up next, we have Hardlight. I believe that this is a very slept on gun since it's reworked to its perk. And just in general, I think Hardlight is a fun weapon to use. I think that it does a really unique job. And and I think that if you don't have it, you should pick it up and try it. It is one of my personal favorite exotics. I think that it just is good looking and fun to use and just cool in general, but it is by no means game breaking and you will be okay without it, but I still think it's fun and worth a try. Up next we have the Meta TM, the Queenbreaker bow. This season specifically, since it's rework and since it's what is it? Not particle deconstruction, right? But yeah, fusions have been meta this season, and this thing got a rework to make its damage crazy. So if you don't have this, go ahead and grab it if you're trying to clean up some Rite of the Nine clears, or if you're trying to get into raiding or doing dungeons or anything like that, or just in prep for the upcoming content in Edge of Fate and you want something strong. Definitely worth a pickup here. Now lastly, we have the Choir of One. Now I saw online that the people were saying that this is a quest. I already have my Choir of One and all the catalysts, and I've done all of the everything regarding it. On my screen, it looks like the exotic is just there for me to pick up. Now, maybe if I pick it up, it drops as the quest and not the gun. Okay, I am going to have to review that footage. I don't know what you guys saw, but I just looked over at my OBS and it was frozen. And it was still in Queenbreaker and I was on the next thing. So I'm going to talk about the Queenbreaker again, just in case. And yeah, this thing is super duper meta. It got reworked this season, and the artifact mods have made fusions across the board insanely strong. If you don't have Queenbreaker, please get it. It will be very useful if you are trying to wrap up your Rite of the Nine ultimatum clears, or if you're trying to do anything like that. If you are trying to get into raiding or dungeon clearing or anything like challenging content, even Grandmasters, a lot of people like it in Grandmasters, things like that. And if you're just trying to prep your account to be strong when Edge of Fate comes, I have zero doubts in my mind that this will carry a lot of strength over. So I would definitely recommend this as a must grab this week. Now up next we have this surprise. This is Choir of One, a seasonal exotic that was tied to a quest and an exotic mission and a whole bunch of nonsense. Now, I've heard online that this is a quest, but on my screen right here, right now, it just looks like a weapon I can buy. Now for me, as you can see, it said already acquired. I already have my Choir of One. As you can see, I've got it fully loaded out and everything, so I don't know if maybe when you click purchase, it will drop the quest instead of the gun. But it really does look like it just drops the gun. So if you don't have this, I definitely recommend picking it up. Even if you don't go and get the catalysts and the intrinsics, it's a very, very strong gun. I do believe that the catalysts improve it. That being said, it's strong and it will continue to be strong, in my opinion, moving forward. Now we're going to try and kind of speed run a little bit because OBS is freaking out a lot and keeps stalling halfway through me saying stuff, and I keep having to pausing and wait. So I want to try and get through this. For our legendary options, we have Blood Feud, we have Triple Tap and Elemental Capacitor, Tech Mag, Hammerforge, Corkscrew. Another situation where this is like half PvE, half PvP, but not good enough in either to be worth anything, in my opinion. That's a skip. However, it is a craftable weapon and you can use your harmonizers to craft it however you want, and it does come with some decent other options. I think it can come with Ambitious Assassin and Headstone if I'm not mistaken, so I might craft that kind of a roll with it, but that's up to you. Next we have a Distant Pull. We do have Tunnel Vision and we have Focus Fury, as well as a Penned Mag and Arrowhead, Full Bore, and Flared Mag. This roll specifically I would probably pass. I think that this one can get Overflow and Focus Fury. That's the best. You can get Headstone, you can get Collective action, yeah. Overflow and Focus Fury is probably the best roll that you're going to get on this. Maybe collective action if you're really building into stasis pickups, because the damage buff from that is not bad, but that's kind of hard to keep track of. So it is also craftable, and if you don't have it, pick up some copies and craft it. Next we have the Briggins Law. This is a rapid fire sidearm from the same season as the yep, what did we just look at? SMG there. This thing has steady hands and sympathetic arsenal. Full bore. Stat wise, this thing is actually really solid. With that being said, its perks, again, it's another half and half. This is solid in PvE, this is solid in PvP, but the two of them together don't really do good in either one of those. So again, I would probably skip this unless you are wanting to craft it, in which case I would pick up a few copies and use my harmonizers on it. Another craftable weapon, this time from the season of the Witch, I believe it was. We have Perpetual and Pugilist, we have Fluted and Extend Mag and Range Masterwork. You know, I'm gonna say, I could see somebody using this as a quirky role for PvP, unironically. This for the increased AE, Fluted for handling, Perpetual because everybody likes Perpetual for some reason, and then Pugilist for a small damage increase. For me, I would not go with this specific role, but if you are someone who likes using quirky roles and builds in PvP, I could definitely see you enjoying this. Either way, this is a fantastic 180 Void Scout rifle. Can be crafted. It also comes with things like Rapid Hit and Precision Instrument, which is what my PvP role of this is. So I would definitely recommend picking it up if you haven't crafted it yet and crafting it yourself. Once again, this is a craftable weapon, but the role itself is probably not something I would stress about. Up next we have Code Duello with Impulse Amplifier and Cluster Bomb. We do not have impact casings. We do have quick launch, which is decent. Now for this rocket, this was one of those older rockets that didn't have anything crazy by way of damage perks. I believe the best roll that this thing came with when it came out was Impulse Amplifier and Lasting Impression. You still did want impact casing. That being said, Impulse and Cluster is not terrible. It's not going to break your bank for damage, but it's also not going to be bad. That being said, no impact casing will make it a pass for me personally, and this is the only weapon this week that's not craftable. Isn't that crazy? Last but not least, we have the Planks Stride. We do have Grave Robber and Pugilist, which is very synergistic. If you're rocking maybe a ranged melee build or something like that, this thing is going to work for you. I could see somebody pairing this with like a Monte Carlo or something like that. It is a 900 RPM, so it is a bullet hose, as well as being craftable, so you can tweak it to be however you like. This roll I could see being a utility roll. That being said, I don't personally think that this is the super OP cracked roll that this thing can get. I don't know that I think any of its rolls are super OP cracked. But if you're looking for a machine gun for ad clear, and you're looking for something that will synergize with maybe a melee build or a Monte Carlo build or something like that, even the origin trait here is all around melees. So yeah, if you want a melee build machine gun, there you go, enjoy. Lastly, for our sword for the hunter this week, we have Quick Fang, we've got Relentless, we've got One for All, Swordmaster, and Jagged Edge. Pretty solid sword overall. However, I don't know if I would personally want One for All on it. It can also roll with Flash Counter, On Guard, and Assassin's Blade, but I believe that One for All is technically the only damage perk. So maybe that is what you would want. For our armor this week, we have the Veiled Tithes set from the Witch Queen expansion. Legs are a base of 53 with 16 and 18 resilience and intellect. Helmet is a base of 56 with 21 recov and 12 intellect. Chest is a base 56 with 16 recov and 18 intellect. And then your arms are a base 54, 15 resilience, 15 mobility, 10 resilience, 10 intellect, and 15 strength. Overall, a kind of mid, in my opinion, set of armor and potential in the weapon area, but not too much. That being said, let's head on over to Handy Dandy Din and check out our other swords and armor on our other classes that we have this week. Alrighty, here we are, and for our Titan this week, we also have the Veiled Tithes set. For our chest piece, alright, here we are for the Titan this week. We also have the Veiled Tithes set for our arms. We have a base of 56. We've got 16 mobility, 16 intellect, and 14 strength. For our chest, we have a base of 51, and everything is roughly 10 aside from resilience. Legs, we have helmet, we have another 51 with a spike in intellect and 10 in resilience, but that's about it. And then for our legs, we do have 22 recov, 13 discipline, 12 intellect with a total base of 57. We will have to apologize. I think the most recent Discord update kind of made everything on my computer a little wonky. For our crown splitter this week, we have counterattack and flash counter with hungry edge, honed edge, and jagged edge. This I could see some people rocking this. 100% I could see some people rocking that. Now for our warlock, if we load here. For our warlock, we have the Eternity's Edge, and we have not fully loaded, so we have not been able to see what the perks and stats are. Oh, come on now. Don't be a pain. Every now and then it just wants to do this. It just doesn't want to load for some reason. Well, I will have to apologize here. I've waited for a good minute and I've refreshed everything, and I was just about to apologize and say, hey, it was refusing to load and show me the actual details. As I was about to say that, it loaded, so now I can see the details. For our sword this week on our warlock, we have Eternity's Edge. We do have flash counter and thresh, hungry edge, honed edge, and jagged edge. On our legs, we have a base of 55 with a 26 spike in resilience. We also have 6 in both discipline and intellect, as well as 13 in strength. For our helmet, we have a base of 53, another 25 spike in discipline, another 12 in recov, and then 6 resilience. For our chest piece, we have a base of 54, 22 resilience, 12 discipline, and 14 intellect. And lastly, for our arms, we have a base of 46. We do have 12 resilience and 10 intellect, however. But with all that being said, I do want to say thank you. I apologize for a very scuffed recording today. I don't know. I think my OBS needs an update, which I've been putting off. But usually OBS not getting updated because it's open source is kind of not something that bogs it down. Discord, I updated 2-3 days ago, and I've been having issues with Discord and everything else that I use ever since. So I have a funkalicious feeling that Discord might be the culprit here. But things keep freezing, things are struggling to load, and yeah, it's just an all-around fun time. But thank you all for coming and watching. I hope that you did enjoy the video today. I hope that you found something helpful or useful. Maybe you weren't sure if you wanted to get on in Caesar or not, and maybe now I showed you some things you need or want. So that warlock armor is pretty spicy. There were a bunch of really solid craftable weapons with really bad rolls, but you can craft them. And then a few good pieces of good exotic armor, and those catalysts are fire, and Choir of One goes hard. So overall, I'd say it was a decent week at Xur this time. But with all that being said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like before you go. If you want to see more and you just want to support the channel, be sure to subscribe as well before you head off. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day, Guardians.